Hi guys, welcome to Rudding Park here in Yorkshire. Today we've got a bit of an in-depth review of the brand new AVX golf balls from Titleist. Okay, so we were down here yesterday actually with the guys from Titleist. We went through a full ball fitting with the AVX just to see what the performance was like and see if it could help me. We compared it with ProV1 and Pro V1x just to see which one was working better for me. So we're going to go over and have a look at some of the footage from yesterday. We speaking to the ball fitter and the guys from Titleist for a little bit more information on this ball. But just to kick things off, I'm just going to tell you three things about this ball. It's actually available in yellow for the first time in a premium ball from Titleist. We've never had ProV1 and Pro V1x in yellow before. It's going to cost the same as ProV1 and Pro V1x, and we're going to tell you a little bit about the name AVX. What does AVX stand for? Well, it actually stands for alternative to V or X. So I think that gives you a pretty good idea of what this ball is aimed at, what golfer it's aimed at. But rather than going into too much detail now, we're going to go over to look at some of the footage from yesterday and find out from the Titleist guys a little bit more about the AVX ball. Okay, Michael, so explain to us a little bit about why Titleist have introduced the AVX golf ball. What was the thinking behind it?
Well, AVX has come from years of research. We spoke to a lot of golfers, we sent out a lot of white box samples. We got a lot of feedback, and we put this golf ball into market in the US in 3 different states. Through surveys and through customer interviews and through speaking to trade partners, we got the feedback that golfers really did like the product and want a product that fitted really neatly into the premium performance lineup.
Okay, and what were those performance characteristics about the AVX that people were liking?
Well, primarily they were liking the low launch that they were getting from AVX, the soft feel that comes from the low compression core in the new AVX. The feedback was they really liked that, but most importantly the spin characteristics. The AVX was a lower spin product in the long game that we saw some really exciting distance gains.
Some of the feedback I've heard from people when I knew this ball was introduced is they feel like it maybe is replacing the Pro V1 and Pro V1x. Just tell us if that is the case or not.
No, absolutely. This ball's here to complement both Pro V1 and Pro V1x, and I think what AVX will do is it will help tell the premium performance story, so maybe even help clarify what Pro V1 and Pro V1x do, and that is that Pro V1 is still the golf ball that we feel is best suited for the majority of golfers. We get that feedback from the 3 ball fitters we have on the road, and we've always had Pro V1x there as our higher launching, higher spinning, firmer feeling option, and now with AVX it sort of bookends Pro V1 as the lower spinning, softer feeling, lower launching option. So really all 3 balls together are giving all golfers, whether it's launch, feel, spin characteristics they want in a premium performance package.
So what you're saying is you may get some people that have traditionally played the Pro V1, for example, that may lean towards the AVX, or they may still lean towards the Pro V1x. You've just got 2 ways that you can go now from a fitting perspective, I guess.
Absolutely, we've got more choices for golfers, and obviously one exciting thing for us is that AVX will be available in yellow, so we've never had a yellow premium performance golf ball before. So any golfer who prioritised yellow as the main buying decision couldn't play a premium performance Titleist golf ball. They now can do that in a great performing golf ball in AVX.
Okay, well let's go and see which one works best for me.
Great.
Okay, so I've just been through a thorough ball fitting process with Joe, testing out the AVX ball, comparing it with some of Titleist other balls to see if it's going to work for me. Joe, just tell us a little bit about the process, how we went through it and why you do it in that way.
So firstly, we started with the 50-yard pitch shot. This is to kind of highlight what the golf balls will do with the urethane cover, the fact that the cover can grip the grooves of the wedge. We can get that spin right around the green, giving you, James, that bigger target area to hit. So we give the golfer, give the consumer more forgiving golf ball. The more forgiving golf ball we can give that person, the more chance that they've got of shooting lower scores.
We had the TrackMan set up, didn't we? We were hitting the 50-yard pitch shots, we had the TrackMan so you could get an idea. Obviously we can see the ball and see what the ball's doing, and that's important, but it was interesting to compare the TrackMan data as well when it comes to things like spin. And that was when we really started to notice some of the performance characteristics differences, wasn't it? When we started hitting some 7-irons, didn't we? And we looked at how they were launching, we looked at how the spin, and just tells us about some of the differences that we saw between the, say for example, the Pro V1 and the AVX.
So what we look for in the 7-iron shot, we're going to look for peak height. So we want to know how high the ball's going. We kind of want to fit that to kind of an optimum. Obviously conditions are going to vary in that kind of sense. That's why we want an optimal height. Obviously spin differences, we're going to want to look between 6,500 to 7,000 RPM worth of spin with a 7-iron. And we want that angle of descent to be between 45 and 55 really, coming into the green. Differences between Pro V1 and Pro V1x and AVX, we noticed about 10 foot in difference in height between the 3 golf balls. And then it was about 400 or 500 RPM worth of spin difference between AVX and Pro V1.
Yeah, I think I found that there was maybe like a touch more spin on the Pro V1 and Pro V1x, for example. But when we came and examined the balls on the green, it was maybe sort of, you know, maybe 2 or 3 yards extra rollout on the AVX, which, you know, for me that was still very playable, wasn't it? It wasn't like they were going to be shooting across the green. Yeah,
and it's important to kind of, where we get the on-course perspective and kind of looking at what the golfer is experiencing on course, you can kind of say, yes, AVX is a little bit of a lower spinning golf ball than Pro V1, but actually when it's hitting the green, it's giving you them extra few yards worth of carry. But then when it's hit the green, it's not overly noticeable of how much that difference is.
You were kind of, it was making a very strong case for me why the AVX was working. A little bit of extra distance, spin was good, a little bit more under control, and then we sort of finished off with quite a lot of stuff around the green, lots of different chips to, you know, to see how it was performing out of the rough, out of little tight lies, little shorter chips, you know, sort of like longer chips, and that's an important part of the fitting process as well, isn't it? Just to, if you're confident with a ball that you can get up and down from, if you can hit it a little bit closer to the hole, you know, that could, you know, save you 4 or 5 shots around. That short game is really crucial, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great to show the golfer little shots out the semi-rough, little shots from the fringe, 30-yard shots, shots from over a bunker. The golf ball needs to do what you as a golfer want it to do throughout your 18 holes of golf to produce the lowest scores possible.
I did really like the way that the ball, you know, the ball felt and the way it popped up. Is that something that you'd expect me to see with the AVX? Is that like a normal thing, or is that just the variance in strikes with me being a handicap golfer?
Variance in strike is going to be key, but ultimately, yes, AVX is a little bit lower spinning than Pro V1, but little shots around the green. Visually seeing it, it was 1-2 feet worth of difference around the green, so not much. And this is where we highlight, yes, it was performing. Yes, Pro V1 was maybe spinning a little bit more, but this is where we highlight playing the same golf ball, getting fit into the golf ball that you want, seeing the characteristics and getting used to how that golf ball reacts.
Okay, so lots of good information there from the guys at Titleist. Really interesting to go through, you know, what would they would describe as like a tour level ball fitting. We really left no stone unturned in terms of, you know, trying to establish what the performance benefits of the AVX ball were like for me. So which ball would I actually use out on the course? Should I be sticking with the Pro V1, which is the ball that I've always favoured out of the Pro V1 and Pro V1x? So what I'd say at this stage is that there was a lot of information from the fitting, from the TrackMan numbers and from my own feel and what I was seeing the ball doing, that the AVX is going to be a good ball for me, because it did fly that little bit lower and it did, you know, have a little bit of less spin, particularly, you know, on some of those longer shots. And so I definitely think that the AVX is going to help me in that regard. Where I'm still a little bit unsure was just on some of those, you know, sort of iron shots and pitch shots, where I did actually find with the Pro V1 there was just that little bit more spin and a little bit more check, you know. But the difference with the AVX, it was maybe running out a yard or two more, and like I say, I'm not a accomplished enough player to be affected too much by, you know, a yard or 2 yards of run out. So I'm not going to say definitely at this stage that AVX is the ball for me, but I definitely saw enough there to make me think that I think it could be a really good ball. The way to look at it is this: if you're a Pro V1 player, I definitely think that there could be benefits to using the AVX. If you're a Pro V1x player, give it a try, but I don't really think that that's going to be what you need. Because if you look at it, you know, with the Pro V1 in the middle, if you want to hit it higher with more spin, you go up to the X. If you're a Pro V1 player and you're still hitting it too high and maybe with too much spin, you might want to drop down to the AVX. And I think that I definitely fit into that latter category. So I'm going to test it out a little bit more on the course. You know, initial signs are really good. I'm going to put it into play in some competition rounds. If you've got any more questions about the AVX, if it's still unclear to you where it sits, what the performance benefits are, please post them below. We'll get back to you straight away and we can have a little chat about that. But thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you again soon.